Good morning, everyone. Today is the 13th day of the Omer. Today's Monday, the 28th of Nissan, Koyach Nissan, May 6th. Welcome to our guests. Yassi. In keeping with Tanya's mission statement of making love of Hashem achievable for every Yid, the following chapter endeavors to discover an even deeper yet attainable degree of love of Hashem. Two types of love are discussed. Craving Hashem as one craves his own life, for that's what Hashem is. And two, selfless love as in a child-parent relationship. So before we even began, Tanya, Al-Rebbe gave an opening statement that said, this thing will be so near to you, in your mouth and in your heart, so that you may do it. What's this? Love and fear of Hashem. We just discussed fear extensively. We touched on love a little bit. Al-Rebbe is trying to make it more tangible and into a reality that we could actually love and fear Hashem. So we're going to discuss and dissect different concepts of love and how we could practically love Hashem in our daily lives and our daily service. And in today's lesson, even though there are various degrees of love, and not every person can achieve every degree, there is a specific love that is found equally in every Yid, a constant love towards Hashem, that knowing that He is our life force. That's the first thing we're going to start with. So, chapter Mem Daled, 44, on page 70. Charlie? In the previous chapter, the Alter Rebbe explained that there are two broad categories of love, Ava Rabba and Avas Olam. Ava Rabba is a great, intense love, and it's like a pleasure and a delight. However, Avas Olam is more enduring and it's more sustainable. Each of these two grades of love, Ava Rabba and Avas Olam, is subdivided into two limitless shades and gradations. As we mentioned yesterday, every level of service of Hashem, you could say there's a higher level of fear and a lower level of fear, a higher level of love and a lower level of love. But there are numerous, actually limitless levels within each. And each individual is able to serve Hashem according to his level, whether it's the love of Hashem or fear of Hashem. Paul, HaKadosh al pasuk noida b'sha'arim ba'ila da kutchabrichu vihu isyada v'istabek l'chol chad lefum ma d'misha'er belibe v'chulu. As the Zohar writes, her husband is known in the gates, that this refers to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, blessed be, so-called, since he is the husband of the congregation of Israel. How is Hashem the husband? Well, we're coming up to Shavuos. And on Shavuos, we celebrate our marriage to Hashem, the Bnei Yisrael, the Kala, Hashem's the Chassan, the husband. And we celebrate it on the mountain, which is like the, considered the chuppah. And we have the wedding contract, which are the luchais, the Torah. So we have this intimate relationship with Hashem. Hashem's called the husband of the congregation of Israel, makes himself known and attaches himself to everyone according to the extent which one measures in one's own heart. Those two individuals may have the same general love of Hashem. By the way, if I ask you, what does love mean? Loving whatever, loving a spouse, loving a friend, loving Hashem. Everybody has different feeling inside. I'll never know what and the way you feel, and you'll never know the way I feel. It's a different, love is subjective. It's up to each individual how they feel. Therefore, love and fear are called the secret things known to Hashem. See, Hashem knows what we're thinking, and Hashem knows what we're feeling. In fact, He is the thought, and He is the feeling. So He knows the level of love that we have for Him. Nobody else will ever know. The Torah mitzvahs and the Torah mitzvahs are those things which are revealed to us and told to our children to do. Those things are found equally. Moshe Rabbeinu doesn't put on gold tefillin, And the holiest righteous Jew doesn't put on any special pair of tefillin different than what we put on. Everybody does the same mitzvah. But when we feel in our heart, obviously that fluctuates. It's a sliding scale, right? Ki Torah achas u'mishpat achas echad lekulana b'kiyum kol Torah mitzvos v'chinas ma'aseh. We have one Torah and one law, and that is the Torah mitzvahs that we have to fulfill and we have to perform. Every Yid performs a mitzvah in the same manner. The greatest Jew and the smallest, simplest Jew puts on the same pair of tefillin every day. When it comes to loving and fearing Hashem, everybody has a different capacity based on his knowledge of Hashem in his mind and in his heart. But here, when it comes to loving and fearing Hashem, there's different levels. He whose knowledge of Hashem is greater will experience a greater love and fear of Hashem to a greater degree. And it's not up to anyone to judge. Hashem is the true judge. He'll decide, and he knows. Otherwise, to be the simplest Jew has the greatest love of Hashem, and the most sophisticated Jew who thinks, the way he walks in and the way he carries himself is struggling to figure out how to fear Hashem because he thinks, oh, look at the way I am. I'm sure I get a lot of respect for the Torah mitzvahs that I do, but in my heart, I know who I am. The Alter Rebbe explained in the previous chapter that Ava Rabba cannot be attained alone. However, Ava Solam can. Ava Rabba is a delight and a love for Hashem. You need a little help and assistance. But Ava Solam, an enduring love, he now goes on to explain that there's a manner of love of Hashem which incorporates the qualities of both Ava Rabba and Ava Solam. Achasi Ava haklula mikol bechinas medregas Ava Rabba v'Ava Solam v'hi shava l'chol nefesh miYisrael v'Yerushalayim v'Aviseinu. There's one singular and unique love which incorporates something of all the distinctions from both Ava Rabba, a great and powerful love, and Ava Solam, an enduring love. Sei gesund, thank you. Which is found equally in every Jewish soul, which comes as an inheritance from our patriarchs, just as the Yiras Hashem, the fear of Hashem, comes through the generations, as we explained previously. V'hainu, Mashakasav Zayar al Pasuk, Nafshi Ivisicha Balayla. The Zayar says, "My soul, I desire you at night." The Zayar notes that the verse, the Pasuk, is grammatically anomalous. It should either say, "My soul desires you," or "I desire you." It says, "I desire you at night." Oh, it says, "My soul, I desire you at night." So it explains that "my" refers to Hashem, the soul of all beings. In effect, the Jew says to Hashem, "You are my soul, and therefore I desire you." It's almost like you're desiring your own soul because your soul is part of Hashem. So the Zohar goes on to say, the Kabbalah says, Yarchim lekutsha brichu, rechimusa, the nafsha, virucha kama, vistabku elain, vigufa rachin loin fulu. V'zeh shekasav nashi v'sicha. One should love Hashem with the love of the soul and the spirit as they are attached to the body, and the body loves them. V'zeh shekasav nashi v'sicha. This is the interpretation of the pasuk. My soul, I desire you, which means, since you, God, are my true soul, you, Hashem, are my true soul, and my true life. Therefore, therefore I desire you. When a person says, "I long and yearn for you," like a man who craves the life of his soul, you want to live. Every person wants to live. You'll do anything to preserve your own life. When a person's weak and exhausted, he longs and yearns for his soul to revive him, literally to return to him. Truly, the pleasure of living is the greatest pleasure of all, and man will forego all manner of pleasure in order to stay alive. Would you give up your vacation to stay alive? Would you give up your sports to stay alive? Would you give up your beautiful, delicious meal to stay alive? No one's going to say, "No, I'd rather die, but enjoy this big meal and nice, juicy steak." Nobody's going to say that. Everyone would grasp life and live another day, another year, another moment. I would give up whatever to live another, right? To live another year on this earth. So we nevertheless, we do not feel the pleasure of simply being alive. When we are taka alive, we're laying in bed, we don't feel pleasure. We just calm, feel alive. But if there was something we can give up in order to live another day, who wouldn't do it? Right? When a person's weak and tired of his life force, I'm sorry, when a person is weak and tired and his life force is not as manifest as it should be, then he feels the desire to live and senses the pleasure of simply being alive. When a person's in pain and a person's very weak, then he's just happy to be alive. I know someone who told me recently, he says, I'm so lucky to be alive. I'm just happy to be alive. He escaped, a very treacherous, dangerous, life-threatening situation. He says, I'm just happy to be alive. Okay, he lost his house. He's living simply. Maybe he's not feeling so well. Maybe he doesn't have everything he used to have. He doesn't call his new place a home. He's trying to get used to it, but he's happy to be alive. That's it. I'm alive. I could have been killed in the fire. And when a person goes to sleep, likewise, when a person goes to sleep, at which time his life force is in a state of concealment, for sleep is 1/60th of death, then he longs and yearns for his soul to be restored to him, and he awakens from his sleep. So do I long and yearn to draw within me the infinite life through engaging in the study of Torah, when I awaken during the light from my sleep. For the Torah and Hashem are one and of the same. Interesting. Somebody mentioned to me yesterday, he was actually here today. He says, don't we partially isn't the closest way we can get to heaven by sleeping? Because 1/60th, we're unconscious. So our soul is up in heaven because it's not fully invested at that moment in our bodies. So it's in Shamayim. And I said, yes, that's exactly what the Bnei Yisrael were thinking before Matan Torah. It's the closest to heaven you could get in this world. But in the morning, our soul comes back into this body, and we want to wake up, and we say, Hashem, please return my soul within me. I haven't accomplished my mission yet. I haven't done all the mitzvahs that I could possibly do. I haven't learned the Torah and incorporated that in my life as much as I could. The boy bar nash made a chimusa the kuchabrichu lemekam b'chol leila l'shtadlo b'fulchane ad tzarfra. The Zohar says, out of love for Hashem, a man should rise each night and exert himself in his service until the morning. So what does that mean? This then is the love expressed in the phrase, my soul desires you. The innate love that a Jew feels when he realizes that Hashem is his true source of life. This love must be revealed by pondering deeply and often how Hashem is the source of all life, as we'll explain further in the chapter. So what do? We contemplate and develop a love for Hashem. You, Hashem, are my life force. If a person values life, that he's willing and ready to give everything up for Hashem, what gives him that life force? Hashem. Hashem who gives me energy. So I want you, Hashem. I want you to give me energy. When I go to sleep, I want to wake up in the morning and I want you, Hashem. You who give me that life force. I want only you. And wanting you in this world means I want Torah. Because Torah and Hashem are one. So we learn Torah, we cleave to Hashem, and then we'll fulfill the mitzvahs found in the Torah. And when we do the mitzvahs and we learn the Torah, we connect to Hashem. But it's the way we could figure out a simple, low-level way of loving Hashem is by thinking about how precious life is. When you hear about Just last night, a friend called me and asked me where to get a cheap burial plot because his family. Da, 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 da. And then one of the members of our congregation texted me, "Did you hear so and so passed away?" I made the connection quickly. Now I know who it is. And this morning I wrote to him, "What happened?" He's a young guy. He has young children. Says he had a massive heart attack. A young, strong, very able-bodied guy. No, as far as we know, no medical prior history, nothing. This happened just now. He's not even buried yet. I'm not going to say his name yet, but so it wakes you up. You never know when that moment's going to come, when that time is going to come. Would he give everything? He has young children. Would he give everything to have another day, another week, another month, another year, another 10 years, 20 years, 30 years? He values life so he could be there for his family, to support them, to hug his children, to learn Torah. So if we think of how Hashem is the one that gives us life, so valuing life is valuing Hashem, is loving your life, the ability to live and to be prosperous in a way of Torah mitzvahs. If we think of that in terms of loving Hashem, it's a tangible way of understanding another way, or at least a simple way how to love Hashem. So anyway, that's it for today. Have a good day, and we'll see you Hashem tomorrow or by Mincha.